This is Mayor Oliver Gilbert, and we've gone virtual. While we're staying at home, remaining safe, I want to make sure that the activities that we enjoy together as a community could be brought to you online. Join me for healthy cooking and nutrition with Common Threads. Let's cook and stay healthy together. Bon appetit.
Hey everybody, this is Mimi from Common Threads. I'm here with my friend and colleague Ashley. Common Threads, for those of you who are not familiar, is a national nonprofit that provides cooking and nutrition education to kids and families. We are super excited to be on this new segment of Miami Gardens Virtual Experiences. Thank you to City of Miami Gardens for inviting us. And today we're going to be making a very simple yet healthy recipe. It is an avocado hummus. We're going to tell you all about it. I'm going to show you how to put it all together for your families. And Ashley is a registered dietitian and the partner engagement manager for Common Threads. And she's going to tell you all about the great nutritional benefits of this recipe. So, Ashley, do you want to say hi?
Hi, everyone. So I'm Ashley. I'm a registered dietitian, and I've been with Common Threads about 4 years, and I'm really excited to be here with Mimi today to talk about not only healthy fats, but a little bit more about avocados, which is the main feature of our recipe today. So fat definitely gets a bad rap, doesn't it? But it shouldn't have that because it is essential for our health. It's one of our 3 major macronutrient categories along with carbohydrates and protein. And fats give us energy, and they play a role in nerve and brain development, and they help with absorption of key nutrients. So that is important, and we shouldn't have the bad reputation that it has. But so there's several types of fat, and that's an important distinction because the various types of fats play a really different role in either promoting health or being detrimental to our health. So the 3 different types of fat are unsaturated, saturated, and trans fat. And so saturated fats are usually solid at room temperature and usually come from animal sources. Unsaturated fats are liquid at room temperature and come from oils, seeds, nuts, avocados, and fish. And unsaturated fats, there's 2 categories within that chemical structure, which is mono unsaturated and polyunsaturated fats. So monounsaturated fat and polyunsaturated fats are examples of unsaturated fats that you would consume. And omega-3s are actually an example of a polyunsaturated fat, which you probably hear a lot when you talk about fish, and they have heart health and brain role in brain development. And then the last category is trans fat, which you probably don't hear much about anymore because it actually several years ago became something that was put on the nutrition label, but also cannot be in our food products. And so that comes from an artificial process. You see it a lot in baked goods. And so little to no trans fat. Really want to have intake of unsaturated fats and really limit saturated fat. And then a few more things I'll say about the fat before I talk about avocados and pass it back to Mimi for our demo is that it is recommended that 20 to 35% of our calories come from fat and less than 7% of our calories come from saturated fat. And so while it's important to note that fat is essential and important, again, we don't want it to have that bad reputation. At the end of the day, it does have 9 calories per gram compared to carbohydrates and protein, which have 4 calories per gram. And so the more you eat, the more calories that are associated with it. So the key message here is to eat the recommended amount of fat, 20 to 35% of your calories, and from sources primarily unsaturated. So those oils, those nuts, those seeds, those avocados. Fat plays a really important role in food preparation. It serves as an agent that holds things together, creates texture, flaky, creamy, crispy, and can be used as a cooking medium. And so avocados play that role as well. If you think about it, avocados are so versatile. They could be pureed as baby food. They're in sushi. They're blended in smoothies. They're the main staple of guacamole. So avocados are really versatile, a really healthy source of unsaturated fat. They also contain a lot of fiber, potassium, vitamin E, and some protein. And the last thing I'll leave you with is one of the things I really like to do is substitute avocados for fat or butter in recipes, making muffins, puddings, mousse. There's lots of options, and you can make avocado hummus. So I'll turn it back over to Mimi to show us how it's done.
Awesome. Thank you, Ashley. I can't believe, like, it sounds like so much when you say 20 to 30% of our diet should be fat. I think we've been so trained to think of fats negatively. And I think it's a really important topic to share with everybody out there about the fact that there is healthy fats, there are healthy fats, we need them, and there's really great ways of preparing them so that everybody in the family can enjoy. So this recipe is an avocado hummus, and it's kind of a play on hummus. It isn't really a hummus. It doesn't have some of the key ingredients that hummus has, like a sesame paste called tahini. That's not in this recipe. And we are omitting a lot of what would normally be in hummus, a lot of oil, and we're replacing it with the heart-healthy avocado. And the end product is this really creamy, delicious dip, spread for sandwich, little side next to some grilled chicken, things like that. It's really versatile, super delicious. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to point my camera downward so you can see some of these ingredients that you're going to need for this recipe. So as all hummus has, garbanzos is our first main ingredient. While we're living through this coronavirus pandemic, remember to please give your cans a wash so that you can get off as much of those outside germs as possible when you bring this into your house. Just with the lid on, when it's still complete, just run it under some water with some soap and give it a wash before you open it up. So you're going to drain your garbanzos, give them a rinse to get rid of some of that extra sodium that we don't want in any healthy diet. And I have I'm using a food processor, but if you don't have a food processor at home, it's okay. You could replace with a blender, or you could even use, something to mash stuff with. This is fun. Get your kids involved. Have them mash the garbanzos and the avocado. Mash it all together. It might not come out as smooth as it will in the food processor or in a blender, but it's still really delicious and actually has a little extra texture. It's not a bad thing. All right, so we've got our chickpeas in there, and then the star of the show is going to be an avocado. I'm going to get back to this in a minute. I want to go through the different ingredients first. We are going to be adding some flavor with ground cumin and some salt, and then also a little bit of heat with crushed red pepper, or if you have your favorite, hot sauce at home, add some of that in. Lemon juice to brighten everything up, and that's it. Oh, sorry, no. We're also going to add some cilantro, which will also add another layer of flavor and vibrancy to the recipe. And garlic. So I have here 1 garlic clove. I use 1 can of garbanzos. And Ashley, talk to us about garbanzos, about beans, especially now since proteins are so hard to get to get these days, and they're getting more and more expensive. I know that they're also a great source of protein, right?
They are. Can you hear me, Mimi?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Wonderful. Yeah, so they are. I'm really glad you brought that up. So plant-based sources of protein is incredibly important right now because, as you mentioned, we are seeing shortages in meats, and we're also seeing limits on purchasing meats at the grocery store. So it's a really great opportunity to still get your protein and explore plant-based sources of protein. So quinoa, chickpeas, beans, peas, other legumes, and so lentils, one of my favorite. And so They are a great source of fiber. They have protein. They are shelf stable, so you can stock up that pantry with those garbanzo beans. And you can use them. They're another versatile ingredient. You could make so many different things with garbanzo beans as the base of your recipe.
All right, so I'm adding now the olive oil. It's just 2 tablespoons of olive oil for this recipe. Normally in a hummus, you would be using a lot more, so this is a plus here, limiting some of the oil and substituting for avocado. So I wanted to show you guys how I take the pit out of the avocado. First, you slice through the avocado this way, lengthwise, and just use your knife to sort of slice through as you rotate the avocado. Then you're going to open it up, and there's a beautiful avocado. And then to take the pit out, all you have to do, or the seed, is just gently get your knife in there and rotate it. Oops, it's like rolling around in there. It's so right. I'm going to just take it out this way. But that would work if the avocado, the seed is a little bit, tough in there and hard to pull out. Then you're going to just take a spoon and scoop the meat out of the avocado. And this is a beautiful, super ripe avocado. And I'm going to do it to the other half. So avocados are one of the most, one of my favorite ingredients. I love the creaminess of them. I love their flavor. I love how simple you can just, put some lemon juice, salt, and pepper on it, and enjoy it just like that, or incorporate it in other recipes. And I haven't used it for baking. Is that a way you can use avocados, Ashley?
Definitely, you can substitute. And depending on what you're substituting for, it's just a simple 1-to-1 ratio. So it might taste a little different. Might be something a little bit new, but it's definitely doable and something. It would be in a culinary adventure for sure. And I just wanted to ask you, maybe, how did you pick out such ripe avocados? I feel like I'm in Virginia, so we don't have them growing here, but I feel like I struggle at the grocery store to know when to buy them so that they're like ready when I want them.
Yeah, great question. So I'm in Miami. We get a lot of local avocados. But our avocados are different. We don't have these here naturally. We have the bigger green avocados. So these are Haas avocados. I chose it just because they're a little bit creamier. They're not, they have a little more of an intense flavor than the other Florida avocados. So when you go to the grocery store and you want to buy them, if you're going to use an avocado the very same day that you're buying it, you want to make sure that when you squeeze the avocado, there's a little bit of give, kind of if you were touching this part of your cheek. So if you're touching this part of your cheek and that's too ripe, if you can feel that. But if you touch the upper part of your cheek, there's a little bit of give there, and that's how you want the avocado to feel. If you're going to use the avocado in 2 or 3 days, you don't want to buy it that ripe because they go bad pretty quick, right? So make sure that they're a little bit firmer, and then in 2 or 3 days' time, they'll be perfect. All right, so in my food processor, I have garbanzos. I have a 1/4 teaspoon of cumin. I have a whole avocado and a whole can of chickpeas and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes as well. And I'm using measuring spoons, but of course, if you like super spicy food, just add more, no problem. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. And then we're going to add some cilantro. I love the addition of cilantro in this recipe. I think that's such a great idea, just to give it some more flavor and another level of vibrancy. So you don't have to be very careful about your chopping with the cilantro. It's going to be blended anyway. If you were making this at home with a mortar and pestle like this, or just with a spoon and mashing it up, I would just chop up the cilantro and add it in at the very end. And I don't know if you guys, if you've been watching these segments, we've been talking a little bit about knife skills and how to hold your knife properly. You want to have your index finger on one side of the blade, your thumb on the other side of the blade, and then your other three fingers are wrapping around the handle. You're keeping what we call a bear claw like this, and then holding down whatever you're about to cut using that bear claw and making sure that you are keeping the tips of your fingers nice and safe. So I just chopped up very roughly some cilantro. I'm going to add it in there too. And then I have right here next to me some water. I'm going to turn this on. It's going to make a little noise. We're going to blend it up. If I feel like I want it a little bit smoother, a little bit more liquid, I will add some water. And let me... Okay, so definitely want to add some more liquid. If you can see, it's a little bit chunky in there. It's not really getting to the consistency that I want. So this is where a lot of times we don't think of water as one of the ingredients in recipes, but it's a great ingredient to think of, especially when you just want to thin something out a little bit. So I'm going to turn this back on. I'm going to add a little more water. And it's done. I love how fast this is. It's going to keep in your fridge for 3 to 4 days easily. That avocado, since it's mixed in with the garbanzos, is not going to turn, brown like it normally does when it's on its own or in a guacamole. You can eat this, as I said. I have some fresh cut bell peppers here. I'm going to put dip the avocado hummus right in my bowl. But I think this would be great as a side with any sort of grilled meat or fish, or just a plate of veggies with this would be delicious. Like roasted veggies with this would be really good. So super versatile. Oh, and I was thinking it would be so awesome. I love avocado toast. I don't know if you've had that before, but it's like one of the best things on earth, right? But if you had this as a spread on the toast, and then you added more avocado on top, how good would that be, right?
So good. And then I just wanted to say, you saw how easy it was to make this. This is one of our favorite recipes in our Small Bites program at Common Threads that we do in school and out of school time. Is we teach the kids to make their own hummus, their own guacamole, avocado hummus, and it's really easy. And these are a great healthy snack that kids can make after school when they get home. And I love that we are adding our colorful fruits and veggies. We always say paint our plate with color. We have the avocados, which have protein and fiber and unsaturated fat. We have our garbanzo beans that are giving us protein and fiber as well. And our veggies that are giving us all those great micronutrients, our vitamins and minerals. And it looks amazing, Mimi.
Yay! I'm so excited. This is going to be a really nice snack to have for the rest of the day as I continue working. Something that my kids will enjoy with some crackers. Just really something nice to have in the refrigerator to be able to enjoy. I'm so bummed that the mayor wasn't with us today. I think he would have enjoyed this recipe as well. Hopefully he'll join us again soon. Ashley, do you have anything else to add about healthy fats?
Just remember, increase your sources of fat from unsaturated sources, so oils, nuts, seeds, avocados, fish, and limit sources of saturated fat, and 20 to 35% of your calories coming from fat. It's essential. It's not bad.
Visit our website at commonbites.org to get more recipes.
I hope you enjoyed today's session. I did. Join us every Thursday at 1 p.m. on Facebook Live for healthy cooking and nutrition classes with Common Threads. If you want to view the session again, visit cmgengage.com/virtual. See you next week. Now tell me, do you really think you can walk